Good evening, everyone. Um, I'm from Kathmandu, Nepal, and I was here last time in 2015, Dataharvest workshop, just after the 1 week after the Nepal earthquake 2015, and it hit around 14 districts and around 8 million people affected by the 2015 earthquake. And and the time was very painful for me, just because of the earthquake. And I came here to learn so many things and new things in data-driven journalism, because in Nepal, data-driven journalism is not mandatory journalism, because there is no open data concept which is just emerging in Nepal. Not There is no concept of open governance. But we started just 2 years after. We did a project. It's called Waiting for Relief, and we did it in a scratch level. Where there is no any support, no any situation to begin with data journalism. And that is about to follow the money. It's a kind of follow the money of reconstruction grant that came from the many donor agencies, including the European Union, and many other INGOs working in Nepal. And I think I'm from Nepal, Kathmandu, Nepal, and this is focused for only European journalists. I think my presentation would not accommodate the scope of geographical scope of this lightning talks. But for that, I'm very grateful for Data Harvest conference, past conferences, where I learned so many things in data analysis, data visualizations, data mapping, and this after the Waiting for Relief project. Recently, we did it 2 months ago, where 7 journalists collaborated into one reporting project, and they published 7 different stories with different angles, and they went to different places, because altogether there were 14 districts, and we 7 journalists went into different districts to get the different angles, and we and it was a 3-month-long project where we had mentors from Nepal, and we had mentor from DC, United States, international mentor, and 7 journalists. This is the team of our journalists working together, and there is a Center for Investigative Journalism in Nepal, which is CDJN Nepal, which facilitated us for the meeting and doing so many things. And our purpose was just to, as I already spoke, that our purpose was to track where does money come from, and where did the money come from, and where does money go. And we found out some very interesting facts why the reconstruction of Nepal is being delayed. And we researched the different angles of reconstruction, and the Nepalese, the local editors, he mentored us to dig out in depth for the story ideas they pitched, because we were told that the story ideas should be data driven, and we have never done it before, only a few pieces, and it was a very difficult job for us, all the 7 journalists. But as the time went, we just go into depth to the data we collected from the different agencies, because we cannot collect the data from the national level. We have the data in subnational and peripheral level. So it was very difficult to collect all the data, gather it, compile it, and analyze it. And the most challenging work, that is visualization and mapping as well. And yeah, it's availability of data, which is very difficult to get in Kathmandu. And yes, this is the place, the Dataharvest, where I learned about the collaborative journalism, network journalism, and cross-border journalism. The term we never heard in Nepal. And this is the place where I just heard about this term. And that's how we came 2-hour journalism project with 7 journalists who did a collaborative journalism. And and we also learned that data journalism alone, a journalist alone cannot, do a data-driven reporting project. He needs a designer, he needs a data analyst, and he needs some, supporting agencies who are working in open data. And we have one in Nepal that's called April Nepal, who helped us to analyze, more than 6,000 pages of data. The data is about the housing grant beneficiaries who were eligible to get the housing grants from Nepal government. And that was, analyzing 600,000 roads. It was a difficult job. And what the interesting facts we found out is that regarding the constructions, there were severe lack of construction workers in all the districts, because the damage was very huge and the construction workers were very less. And one of the journalists found out that in a place, in a particular district, due to lack, he compared with the house to be built and the number of workers there. And what he projected is that it could take 130 years to complete the reconstruction in a particular district. And that came from the data analysis. And this is a very interesting fact we got from a journalist, is a mainstream media journalist. And another fact is that the government gave us just $300,000. And the international donors gave us $3.4 billion to rebuild Nepal reconstructions. And but Nepal government gave only $3,000 for each beneficiary family household. And as we get into it in depth, just what we found out is that the money was supposed to build a small earthquake resistant house, but that was not enough. That is because as we analyze the data, the money, the people need at least $10,000 to build a seismic resistant house. And we compare the money and we compare the type of house that can be built. And we found another fact, that is the government grant money, and that was also came from data journalism. And the other one is the missing names in the list, which was the grievances, because government has collected the grievances from the beneficiaries, from the earthquake survivors. And there were many names that were missed in the list, because they were supposed to get the grants, but their names were not in the list. That was the problem. And we got the data from the local level, and we mapped it, and we clustered it, and we found out there are many grievances. That's why the reconstruction process was delayed, and people were not able to make the houses. And another interesting fact is that, which I did, Dalits and ethnic communities, those were supposed to be the marginalized communities in Nepal, because they are poor, they are vulnerable, they have very low literacy rates, and they are not, well educated to make earthquake resistant house, and they cannot even understand the model, the designs, how to prepare a seismic resistant house. And as I went into the 70,000 rows, I analyzed that if we can separate the first name and the last names, we can get from the last names, we can analyze who are Dalits and who are ethnic communities. And what we found out is that nearly 50% of the households were Dalits and ethnic communities. And that was another reason. In the particular districts, they were not able to rebuild their homes even after the 2 years of 2015 earthquake. I've also made interactive maps, infographics from pic to chart, Cardo. I used Cardo for data mapping, and I used Infogram for infographics. And I also, and the reporters, all the 7 reporters published their stories to their respective media outlets where they belong to. And that story was particularly published in the separate special page of CIJ Nepal, which is Center for Investigative Journalism Nepal. And the stories created a debate, a national debate when we published the story, because all other media also syndicated the stories. And I think our project has a very good impact nationally and internationally. And EIJC17 also published about our work and about the lesson learned, and which is getting data sets. We need the personal sources and connections, because when dealing with governments, it's really hard to get the complete data. If you go to the subnational and peripheral level, it is very easy to get with your personal connections. And while telling, when you try to tell stories only based on the data, that might not be always useful, always helpful, because you also need to humanize the data. Your numbers should speak. Your numbers should be turned into narratives. For that, you also need the anecdotal evidences. And when working in a team, you need the people, journalists from the different media outlets like print, online, multimedia, television, and radio. And that's what our group was like. And we created a map, which is interactive maps in Cardo. And you know what? I get the emails that our map view was increasing day by day, because I was getting the analytics, and that analytics came from the international audiences as well. And yes, we also got help from the EIJ, the Fund for Investigative Journalism, that is based in the United States, and we had mentors, and we received grants, and it was not only it was a great opportunity to work with international mentors, and it was a great opportunity to work in data-driven real journalism project, because what my personal experience is, when you just practice the data sets, when you practice the data mappings, I think you can learn more than if you work real journalism projects. And I think we are in the world of globalization, and the cross-border is possible, and we can share ideas, and even maybe there are common issues that is connected in Europe, in Asia, and it has widened the opportunities in this digital age, I think. Thank you very much.